Hello humans, this is Random Guy and welcome to the Random Channel. Today we're going to be reviewing another anime, this time Re:Zero. It's super popular and it was popular when it came out, so I'm not saying it's not popular even now. It's just a good show. And I just recently watched it, that's the point. It's not that I didn't watch it when it came out because just wasn't interested. Because everyone was watching it, I was like, whatever, maybe we'll watch later. And I recently watched it. I was like, damn, this is a good show. And I can see why everyone just was screaming about every little thing. So let's begin. First of all, the pros, which would be the plot theme is extremely interesting. You see, isekai or another world. Isekai is the Japanese for another world. These isekai type of anime have generally two themes. First, they introduce a fantasy land, and they introduce a character in the fantasy land, and then they show his story. So that would be there's no world teleportation. They just stay inside the world they were born in, such as Danmachi. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? That show. That show is just about the main character who was born in that particular world, doing things in that particular world. That's one of the isekai aspect, which is famous, but it's not as famous as the other one, the one Re:Zero has, which is the teleportation isekai, in which the main character is generally living on Earth, living a normal everyday life, and they suddenly get teleported to another world, in which they have to live whatever way. They sometimes get superpowers and every different various aspects of it. That's fucking amazing in that show. The reason why I particularly specifically really enjoyed the plot of this show is because of two reasons. Number one, that they didn't give the main character any special abilities, like nothing, like absolutely nothing, no special ability whatsoever. I mean, I have not read any, and I've read so many fucking mangas and watched so many shows, related to the isekai genre, but I've not seen one show in which the main character does not get any superpowers. I remember that one show that it went with this, that the main character had no superpower, but later they found out that the main character was really good at growing monster plants or something like that. So he had some power at the end of the day. He was good at something. He became good at something that didn't exist in his world. In this one, the main character is just your average guy. He just okay, maybe not super average, but he at the maximum he does is exercise a little bit, so he's not fat, and yeah, that's about it. And he knows a little bit of self defense moves. Nothing too special anyway. Just the most basic of shit. So he's just your average guy. I think they even introduced that little part about him being fit, so that they don't make him so fucking pathetic that people will stop watching the show. Because I know a lot of people can't handle this sort of thing, because what they do is they portray themselves in the place of the main character, which ends up infuriating them when something happens to the main character. So there's that. As for me, I personally love the plot because of fucking that the main character was so fucking powerless. He couldn't get any special abilities, but after coming to a new world, he didn't have any special abilities before coming, before in the world he lived. So it was fucking amazing watching him. And on top of that, he knew about the isekai genre. I mean, he knew about how people get teleported to another world. In terms of he watched anime and shit in the show. So he was like, okay, now I'm gonna have some superpowers, and he actually doesn't have any superpowers, which is fucking hilarious. And another thing that I personally loved about the plot is that the main character, whenever he dies, he just reverts back to a checkpoint, right? It's like a game almost. It's like whenever he dies, he will just revert back everything to a previous checkpoint. And every single time he dies, just reverts back again and again and again and again. So he can every single time fix anything just by killing himself again and again and again and again. Which is, sounds pretty cool, but the show puts it so fucking graphically and so fucking tortures in such a torturous manner. It's so fucking good. Like every single death has so much power behind it. Okay, maybe not every single one of them, but most of them have so much fucking emotion and power behind it. And slowly watching him, grow up, at the same time degrade mentally. He becomes more and more mature as the shows move on, but at the same time he starts to degrade mentally as he starts to break down because of continuously this sort of stuff happening around him. So the main plot is so fucking good. It's so fucking unique. It's not that it's just too good. It's good, but it's not too good. It's more about that it's so fucking unique. And no one has ever done this sort of thing before, as far as my knowledge goes. The main character is relatable to some extent. Like as I said, he's just your average Joe. He was just living the neat life of being sitting in his home, not doing anything worthwhile, eating ramen and playing video games every single day. That's all he did for the majority of his life, as he tells us later in the show. So that whole thing, I mean, the way that because of that, he's so relatable, because he's just your average guy that you see every single day. So despite the fact that he looked unique, and despite the fact that his situation is unique, you can connect to him. I mean, if he looked like some generic ass character with no every single generic thing going for him, then it would have been a completely different story. Then you would understand why you can relate to it. But a character that looks unique and is personality wise fairly unique. The main character is not about how he wants to protect everyone. He's just a symbol of justice. It's nothing about that. He gets angry at people, he hates people, and he has his moments, and he just wants to protect himself and the immediate people that he has around him, the people he loves. That's about it. He doesn't care about anything else. That's the amazing part of it. Other thing is that desperation, pain, and human behavior is very well depicted. As the main character moves forward, his desperation feels absurd, because it almost feels like he wants to die. Because in his situation, almost it doesn't feel like the main character wants to die. It almost feels like you, the viewer, wants to die, because watching him die over and over just like makes you feel like this is kind of pointless. Like at the end of the day, even if you end up with a happy ending, like you wouldn't be the same person at all. You would like completely blast through your personality, blast through your sanity. Like you might just end up as a shell, to be honest with you. So that sort of desperation, every single time he gets like severely mortally wounded, the pain every single time he cries, or like the voice acting for his pain is done so good. You know that one scene where Kaneki is tortured in Tokyo Ghoul season 1. The same pain that Kaneki depicts in that particular scene is the same pain that this show depicts every second episode, honestly. So it's done so fucking good that it is amazing. It is fucking amazing. Other than that, the character growth and what is this? Yeah, as I said, the character grows, and his personality changes, his behavior changes, his thinking changes. He completely does a 180 in the ending episodes of the show, which is like, you would normally think that's a cop out to make him just badass so that they can change the story, but no, it maintains his pathetic personality alongside his cool personality, which is something that I personally really appreciate. Another thing that I want to say is Rem is best girl. That was the biggest debate that was going on when the show came out, is who's better, the main chick Emilia or like the side chick Rem. And there were loads of memes regarding that. I'm not gonna say nothing too much, considering that would be serious spoilers for the show. But when I started watching the show, I was like, why is everyone so fucking hyped about Rem? Like, why was everyone so much going after like Rem? Okay, yeah, what, force Rem onto this shit. Like, Rem is the best. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm watching the show. She's okay. She looks pretty good. She acts decent. So What the fuck is the fucking point of like chanting her name? Why is she suddenly better than Emilia? That is certainly looking pretty cool. And as the show moves on, they show you why both of the girls have their own fucking, beauty points. So you can choose whichever girl you like. But the community is more of divided about like 30-70, or like 30% going for Emilia and 70% going for Rem. And I joined the Rem crowd. Unfortunately, as I was in the Emilia crowd at the first. As the show moved forward, it just became so much fucking. The show changed a lot for me, and characters certainly developed a lot. So I can understand why everyone says Rem is best girl. I'm hoping for a harem ending. The show, while it is going that way, it is like giving faint hints of a failed harem, as I've explained in my previous, reviews. Failed harem is something I refer to when in a situation there are multiple girls, and the main character just chooses one girl, and then just the rest of them are just like hanging around. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here with our lives? Or find them another man or something. So I personally hate those things. Failed harems is something I absolutely hate. This is one of the reasons like SAO had the gigantic, reject women cast in that fucking show. That was ridiculous, honestly. How fucking ridiculous they could have made that fucking show in that particular aspect, the harem shit. In this one, I'm hoping for a harem ending, so I have no idea. This show could go either way. A failed harem is 100% possible. A harem is possible, or actually there's a third option in between that is possible that I'm not gonna say nothing about, so you can watch the show yourself. Episode 18 specifically, I generally don't refer to particular episode, I refer to scenes, but particular episode 18 was like really hit home for me. It was a beautiful episode. It was beautifully done, honestly. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers as to what happens in the fucking episode, but anyone who has watched the show already knows what I'm talking about with the episode 18. All I'm gonna say, the theme of the episode is like how comfortable a life is in this world where we have everything at our behest, things we take for granted, like anything, electricity, or like our parents that earn decent enough to teach us education and everything. Because of this comfortable life, we tend to forget that people are struggling out there, and the struggle we have to go through, if we were put in their situation, most of us won't survive that sort of struggle. I personally wouldn't. I couldn't live like any like a poor person in like my existence. I'm not exactly rich either. Like my parents just I would say we were like a middle class family, but if we were to be like a poor family, I doubt I could like live through what I'm living through at the moment. I'm not mentally capable to handle all of that, which is something that the 18th episode certainly shows. And this shows that that they want things that don't want to work for them. Like people want shit, but they don't want to work for shit, and I certainly can relate to that, because I am like that. I want a lot of things, but I just don't work for it. And like even just fucking YouTube is something that I barely do. Like I record videos and I do upload decently enough once a week or twice a week, but I could probably upload a lot more, considering nowadays I certainly have holidays, considering my exams are coming. So I could upload a lot more, but I certainly don't, because I'm just a lazy ass. Even YouTube, something that I enjoy doing, is something that I'm procrastinating in. So I certainly can 100% relate to the points of that episode, as I am one of those people. The ending was amazing, by the way. The ending would have been just a slight bit better, just a tad bit, if they were to introduce both the girls, Emilia and Rem, in a more equal light. Just felt like one of them was just kind of lagging behind, because that the ending was just not all the way up there, but it was fucking good. Whatever it was fucking good. I absolutely loved it. Now the cons of the show. Hold on, let me see this. Firstly, yeah. Okay, so here's something I have written. That's something I personally look forward to, is that the main character pursues a perfect ending, right? A perfect ending is what I mean, that his power is as such that he has checkpoints, right? So he has the checkpoint to an initial position when everything is neutral. the shit goes dry, he dies, and he gets reverted back. But there is, he tries again and again to get a better ending for himself. But there's a high possibility that he could just get a normal ending, right? It doesn't have to be the best ending. It doesn't. It could be the good ending. It doesn't have to be the true ending of the show, you know. But the main character always pursues the true ending. What I mean by that is that if there are 10 people with the main character on the checkpoint, he tries to make sure that all 10 people survive. It's going to be the perfect ending where all 10 of them will be with him. You know, but that would normally be a good thing, like for you and me as, you know, game players, people who play visual novels and stuff like that. We would love to do that because, you know, we always pursue the true ending in whatever game we play so that we can get the more juicy bit of the show. But think about it. Think about like every single time. Let's say if you're playing a visual novel, right? So the main character gets stabbed in the gut and then he has to run around while his gut is bleeding to the medical room. Then he has to get himself patched up so he can like rough patch himself with like a stapler to, you know, to tie his guts together, and then he has to go and save these girls to get the perfect ending. So do you think you can do that twice? Like you fuck up once and then you get the good ending and you're like, okay, let's do that again. That you have to feel all the pain that visual novel character has to go through. If you were to feel all that pain in real life, would you be able to do the same thing to get the true ending? I doubt it. Something that is in the show that while I do appreciate the fact that he gets the true ending at the end of the day, it just feels like that he's, you know, I would not be able to do that. This is one thing that is different between, you know, me, an average person, and the main character, is that he would go through all that pain just to get the perfect ending. As long as I personally would get a good ending, I would be like, just leave it there. Yeah, I got 10 people, I saved 8 of them. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm not even gonna die and then try again and go through all that pain all over again. So, well, honestly, I'm a below average person. I would probably just leave the entire situation and run away. I can 100% tell you that if I was, you know, put in the same situation as him, and if my life was shown as an anime, it would have been like, okay, the main character has to go and save the girl through all these people and somehow rescue all of them to get the perfect. I would even good for a good ending. I'll just turn around. Okay, I'm leaving town. I already got the money from my work, and I'm just gonna leave town and go somewhere else and do something else. It's just going to be that. It's honestly just going to be that. I'm not about to, you know, I'm just not going to do that shit. I'm not even someone who has the constitution to go through with the good ending. And this guy is just continuously trying to get the true ending, which is mildly, you know, above average, to be honest. That's something he is very different in terms of. Other thing is that the show needs more, you know, sexual aspect. Like the show is good, but you know, you need to release the frustration every now and then. If you build up a frustration, there's going to be a lingering frustration even after the situation is solved. So it's like this: the main character gets into a situation, gets fucked up, you know, dies, revives, tries again, dies, revives, tries again and again and again and again. He's trying to do the same thing just to get the true ending. So the person who's watching, you know, you're always on the edge of the seat that how would he make the situation work out somehow so that he would, you know, everyone around him will live and he will live. And all the pain and the desperation the main character has to go through, you have to witness all of that, and then, you know, even after he gets a checkpoint, he has to do that all over again in every single situation as you move forward again and again and again and again. It's just happening all over again. It just won't stop. It's just a continuous cycle that goes on. So you just wish for the main character to at least get some sort of, you know, reward for his actions. Like, he's doing all of this and he doesn't get anything. Like, you know, like he at least deserves a kiss. You know, a normal main character, even in a show that they don't have kisses in the show, right? Let's take a show that doesn't have kisses in them, right? No kiss. Okay, even that sort of show, the main character at least gets something. Like, he gets an eye candy every now and then, whether girls showing him cleavage or like hugging him, so he would like at least feel like tits on his chest or his back or something. This show is just like, no, we're not going to give you anything in terms of like sexual shit. Whereas like, so the main character is just like bulking up with his frustration over and over and again and again and again and again. Like even when a situation is resolved and the frustrations let goes, there's like trace amounts of it left. So it just keeps building up. Like I wonder if they actually did this on purpose, because they have a lot more sexual stuff in the second season where the main character like breaks in terms of, you know, being pent up from all these things and does something like, I don't know, rape. But probably the show would not have the main character raping anyone, which would be, you know, I would love to see that, honestly, because, you know, that would be a completely change of, you know, personality type for him, which would be fucking hilarious. And like, when he dies after raping someone, and then he like gets revived and he still has memories, so he just feels so fucking guilty, which is going to be fucking hilarious, honestly. Because he did that in the moment of the, you know, in a moment, because he was extremely frustrated from the entire first season going through without even a single kiss for him. So that would be certainly something I would love to see. And that's about all the fucking problems with the show is that main character pursues the perfect ending, which is like above average, so that makes him a little bit non, you know, connectable. And second, the show doesn't have sexual shit, which could be, as I said, a plot point for him in the second season where he does something horrendous, heinous, so, and he has to go through the guilt after he dies and he revives again. That would be certainly something to wish, you know, see. Season 2's trailer is out, and I watched it. The trailer is amazing, actually. I don't want to turn this into a trailer review, but the second season's trailer is certainly something to behold, because I've never seen an anime trailer this subtle. Like anime trailers go about like action, or like tits and like magic and flash, light, music and drums playing and guitar going crazy all over the place. This show fucking, the fucking second season trailer was so fucking subtle. Just the main character walking through like a pack of dead bodies all over the place to like the main antagonist of the show, kinda antagonist of the show. I'm not even sure if she is the antagonist of the show, because she certainly has helped him out. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah. The main and by the way, the main antagonist of the show is certainly something I personally really like. Not even as an antagonist, I think the main antagonist might very well be you know, companion in the later end of the show. I don't want to see the main character kill her or her killing him. I just want them to be together at the end of the day. That would be certainly, I don't know how they're going to do that, but certainly something I would like to see. So as for rating of the show, I was gonna give it an 8 normally, but the powerlessness of the main character that is depicted so beautifully, I'm going to give it an 8.5 in this particular category. It's just lagged in a few things. If it had more sexual shit, the fucking this show would have been easily a 9. The 9.5 would have been really difficult to achieve the way it is set up, because if they would have not gone for the true ending, a lot of the very important character would have died eventually in the show, which would have caused the fucking show to go, you know, become a lot more stale. So that's why I don't know if anything can be done to increase it to 9.5. 10 is more than likely impossible, and 9.5 would be bringing about some decent change in the show. And sexual shit is very important if they want to. Honestly, if in the second season they add, as I said, the thing where he rapes someone, dies, and then revives again, goes through the agony, guilt, and the lust all over again, because he sees her and he's like, oh shit, I fucked her. So he also gets lustful towards the other girls every time he revives. His lust keeps on increasing. And his guilt, which is slowly lets out in one way or another. If they added that and added normal sexual shit with the main character and the chicks that are with him, then I certainly would say that the show could possibly go for a 10. I've not given a single show a 10 up till this point. Hell, Hell, I wouldn't even give Death Note a 10. I would give a 9.5. I wouldn't give Death Note a 10. So this show is 8.5 out of 10. And there's a link in the description to my Twitter. Go follow me there. There's also my Dtube account link in the description. Go check that shit out. I play hentai games over there. And thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.